hard working every day. Not a lazy mom, got no time to play. Always on the go, you stuck on the flow, but it's time for the show.
We know y'all cannot get enough of this podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Not for Lazy Moms with my Fab 3 co-hosts, Big Bank Hank.
Yeah. Telling the truth from the booth.
Yeah. Oh, Chris didn't even get to steal it today.
I know.
What's up, baby? My super dad.
Hey, how you doing?
And Miss Allie, who is a official G.
See, you just took the one thing that I planned out finally to say.
That's what we
I'm
do.
a G.
We steal them.
Gotta be quicker than that. Like the commercial. Oh my God, that's so funny. That commercial be cracking me up when he has the fishing wheel with the dollar in the end. He's like, you gotta be quicker than that. Oh my God, what is that, a Geico commercial? I can't remember, but it's hilarious. But anyway, today we got a pretty interesting topic, and I'm just going to cross my fingers and pray that me and my husband don't end up arguing today on this show.
Of course not.
Yeah, whatever. We're talking about social media and how it affects relationships, whether it's marriage or whether it's the way you parent, the way you are with your kids, that interaction. Some people have teenagers, and, you know, social media can be a bad thing, but it also can be a good thing. So
Only if your partner is jealous. I mean, if you have a jealous partner, social media would bring a relationship down.
I don't think it has to
No,
be jealousy.
nothing with jealousy. No.
I don't think
Baby,
it has
why are
to be
you on the
jealousy.
phone? Baby, is that Facebook?
I mean, that
Baby, is
could
that
be an
Instagram?
aspect, but-
That's not jealousy?
I don't think it's jealousy.
No,
What would it be
I
then?
get what Hank is saying. That could be, but then it's other factors as
Yeah.
well.
What would be the other factors?
Okay,
Are we
we're just
jumping
gonna-
in this?
we're
real
gonna
quick?
get on into this.
I'm
Let's go
sorry,
ahead and do
'cause I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll give my point of view a
Go
little
ahead.
later.
No, go
No.
ahead.
So basically, some people can be jealous. They're concerned about who their spouse or girlfriend or whatever is talking to. You know, are you interacting with the opposite sex on social media? What are you talking about? So I get your point of the jealousy aspect, but in our case, it's not jealousy so much. It's more so I need quality time as well. And it needs to be a cutoff point at night so we can actually, you know, do what we do, you know, talk, you know,
All right,
gushy
so let's-
gushy, sloppy toppy, whatever it may be.
All that.
We need to, you know, basically put the social media away and interact, because sometimes during the day I'm out doing my thing, you know, running around. She's out running around. We hadn't seen each other all day. So once we get home, it shouldn't be all night of social media and we hadn't talked.
True.
Yeah,
True.
so this is going to be a counseling session for Chris and I. Because, as you can see, he is fired up. We have not heard him talk this
Not
much the
fired up.
entire time we've been on this podcast. It's like, but no, one thing that, well, social media is new to me, I will say. I did not begin doing social media. I didn't even have an Instagram or Twitter account until I started doing the show.
Oh,
I had
really?
more
Well,
fun.
MySpace back in the day is a form of social media back in the day.
Yeah,
right?
but I wasn't on it like that. In MySpace, you had to be on a computer to be on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's going, whoa, we're telling our ages right now.
And
What
Monique,
about Friendster?
and Monique is
And-
definitely telling the truth.
I thought when you,
because
I don't
I
know.
had more followers than her 2 years ago, so she's telling the truth.
Congratulations, Hank.
Big Hank with the followers.
I got more likes than you.
That wasn't meant. I was
Being for
basically
real.
backing you up.
I know.
Okay, now go
but
ahead,
no.
baby.
So the only time I had social media was Facebook, and we created an account because we were preparing to get married, and we wanted a way for our family to kind of stay in touch and know what was going on, and you know, have details regarding the wedding. So I did have the Facebook, which I wasn't on it that often, and a lot of times I only used Facebook from the computer. So, but now that I'm on this reality show, social media is actually a part of my job. It's actually like in my contract that I must maintain my social media, and I became to like really enjoy it. So I really do enjoy, you know, posting on Instagram and interacting with viewers and my boss squad and different people who support me. So I do like to stay in touch, you know, with the people that watch the show. Also on Twitter. Oh my goodness, that was probably the worst thing I could have had signed up for, because y'all know I like to talk. So if I can't talk, I'm going to tweet.
And it's
Like,
all you. Like you
Yeah.
are, and you respond and engage.
I love
with
it.
everyone.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it too much. On top of that, a lot of the business that I do as it pertains to Chris and I with our homes and managing our businesses, I do it on my phone as well. So I have emails that I'm constantly checking. If I'm getting like booked for an appearance, or if Bravo has me, you know, coming in town, like I'm constantly going back and forth in my phone, and I have this rhythm where I'll check my email, do all my responses, then I'll check Instagram. then I'll check Twitter, then I'll check my text messages, then I'll put the phone down. So it just seems like every single time when Chris is nearby, he always sees when I'm checking the social media part.
Every single time.
So
And I'm like,
basically
I was
it's not-
just checking my email.
I'll be straight if I could just use that to my advantage. But no, it is times I know she's handling stuff and
Ali,
booking stuff.
we're not needed in this.
No, whatever. And I get that. But a lot of times it is social media, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just over here and got certain needs that need to be dealt with.
But
and
does that always have to be going around mushy gushy and stuff?
no, I just said it earlier.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
It being acknowledged. And I just said it earlier, it's not just, mushy gushy or sloppy toppy. I just want to talk to my wife sometimes. And I understand that she has a job and she has to interact with these fans, but what's more important? Interacting with these fans or interacting with your husband.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I need my time. I'm not like one of these guys that don't really give 2 cents about their wife and, they rather run the streets. I want to talk to my wife. I want to, conversate.
Well, with that scenario,
Converse
Come and
with her
talk
and-
to me.
with that scenario, the woman then basically replaced the relationship with the social media.
No, she hadn't replaced the
No,
relationship.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about with the guys that are out running the streets, which you're not doing. So
Right,
there's
right.
I
a
get what you're
deeper
saying.
issue there. I feel
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah, no doubt.
in those
Right.
relationships.
Absolutely.
But I also feel like, in your defense, like a lot of times it is unintentional. Like I don't even realize I've scrolled through Instagram like 50 times in a row and seen the same picture until I'm called out for it. I'm like, you just get lost. You just get we're so used to doing it that
Yeah.
it's like,
so are you saying there need to be rules?
I do think that there needs to
Definitely
be
need to be
times
rules.
where you turn it off, put the phone face down, put it away somewhere.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It definitely needs to be rules and boundaries set in place. And, Monica always tell me, like, Chris, if you want to talk to me, just talk to me.
Take my
Or
phone.
Take my phone. But
Take charge, basically.
No, but it would feel good for me to be sitting on the couch. Monique comes in, and she takes charge and didn't even have to make me take charge of getting the conversation going.
Right.
Or
You don't want to
getting the-
have to do that.
Exactly,
Right.
because that becomes a situation where I feel like, well, dang, she's really not interested, so I'm forcing her to talk to me.
Right, but there
Forcing
are
her to
times
engage.
that I'll come in and I'll try to talk to you, and what will you be doing? You'll be watching CNN.
Hold up,
And then-
pause.
and then-
That has stopped.
No, I know. I'm talking. Well, you're bringing up kind of past stuff, but
It still goes on with social media.
not necessarily. You'll be on your iPad playing your little
And I
army
would-
game, and sometimes you will be in deep into that, and then the only time you notice me on my phone is when you put that to the side, and then you're like, hey, I'm here. And I'm like, all right,
So
dude, you
basically
was just
it's-
playing
That
games.
goes both ways, guys.
It
So
does.
basically,
It
it's
really
when,
does.
when he gets bored, he notices.
No. Just be quiet.
I don't need you trying to like.
Grammar.
I don't
Be
need trying to.
Ali, I told you we
mediate
not
this.
needed,
But
man.
that goes both ways because the other day I was sitting there all day long and I'm wanting to talk to Monique and she's been on her phone scrolling all day long. And then all of a sudden it's late at night. She put her phone down and she sits up by me. She's like gives a hand gesture like, all right, let's love on each other. I'm like, well, damn, I've been waiting on this all day.
Well, in my defense, he always assumes if my phone's in my hand and I'm scrolling, he assumes I'm on social media. But I remember that day, and I remember it clearly because that's when I got booked for Watch What Happens Live with Gabrielle Union. And they were asking me for my travel itinerary. On top of the fact that I had to book your travel, I had to book travel for my glam. I'm literally communicating with all these different people, trying to get the hotel locked down, trying to figure out where I'm putting them, what days they're coming in, because I was trying to be cheap and have them come in the day of rather than the day
nothing wrong
before, because I have to pay for my glam's hotel.
Right.
So I was literally going back and forth trying to figure out the whole schedule and then talking to my publicist to see how long I had to stay. I remember that day. So it wasn't just me being on social media.
Well, you bring up such a great point. We are not in the office working 9 to 5 jobs. We are
Right.
working 24/7.
Thank
And that's
you.
one of the things that, like, my husband, he goes into work and he comes home. And so it's easy for him to not answer emails and stuff. But I mean, I'll get into his Twitter issue in a second. But
We should have brought him on as a guest.
no, honestly, we
I need
really
some
should
backup
have.
because Hank is
We
clearly
really
on
should
my
have.
wife's side.
I don't. Time out.
But I get it.
Chris,
I
that is not true
yeah.
because I was going to ask you for something later, so I'm on your side. Okay? All right,
So shady.
let's get it straight.
That is so shady.
Let's get it straight.
All right, go
But
ahead.
Go
there
ahead.
is no turning it off. Like, it's
Yeah.
just that's just not how it works. Like, that's just not how
It's really hard because I preach it all the time. Even when Chris was when he was playing in the league,
Balance.
Oh my goodness, I would
You
preach
have
it to him.
create balance.
Yes, because this dude would just do football and come home and be knocked out, sleep. And I'm like, dude, like, hello? I'm here. You know, the same way that he feels about me now. So it is a growing process. I fully understand, you know, where he was and what he went through now that I'm in the same situation. And I'm trying to do better about like kind of creating office hours where, you know, where we're able to just like put everything down to the side, and unless it's like an emergency, and not even use the phone. So one thing that Chris came up with, which we actually did this years ago, we said, you know, when we go out to dinner or out on a date, no phones. So most times I don't even pull my phone out because I don't even want to be tempted. And it's like you said, it's like a habit. If the phone's sitting there, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to scroll. You know, it's just such a habit. When I wake up in the morning, I literally pick up my phone and start scrolling, you know, while I'm laying there in the bed, getting myself together.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. And I think that
You
it's
just roll over on top of me and scroll on me.
well, most times you're already out the bed. Like this morning,
I'll
you
stay
know,
in that
you were
bed.
you were in the shower, and then the kids be coming
Would you
in
say
the
you'll
room
stay
at like
in the bed
7
if you had a
o'clock.
reason? That's what you basically said?
Well, I definitely have a reason, but
Well, why don't you voice that reason sometimes?
He looking for a wake and shake.
Oh,
that has been voiced. Awake and shake. I like that.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty
Well,
good.
yeah, but no, go ahead, give your thoughts, Chris.
No, that's good. I mean, no, everything you're saying is true. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I just want attention from my wife at certain times, and you know, I get a little frustrated, but I'm patient. I understand it's your job, and you know, we'll work through it.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. I mean, I can truly say at one time, you know, I was more caught up in CNN and seeing what the president was doing, and you know, stuff like that.
And laughing about it.
Right, laughing about it. And I would be dialed in on that. And then she would want attention. And then it was times where I would want attention and she's into her social media. So we kind of totally missed each other. But we talked about that. We're in a good place and, you know, we're working through it. So we're good now.
Would you say that judging from a year ago to now, there's been a lot of progress in that area?
Oh, definitely.
So what would you tell her that she's doing absolutely great in now that she wasn't a year ago?
Dang.
No, I'm just trying to.
Because we need to know.
No,
if
I
you
think,
ain't
you
just-
know, I think.
we need to know if
progress.
this ain't foreplay all day, and we, you know.
No,
I'm
it's
curious.
just the communication part of
Absolutely.
when we actually set boundaries on, you know, when we're at dinner, let's put the phone down. You know, it's,
And I only ask that because you know I'm around a lot,
Right.
and I've noticed from a year ago that she definitely, you know, not on that phone as much, definitely, and is, you know, I just think there's strides in that
Yeah.
area.
And there's a lot of other things that played into that as well. Just, you know, like sometimes it's you have certain habits that become your comfort zones. And it's like, you know, if me and Chris aren't seeing eye to eye, then it was like an escape for me just to be on social media and just kind of like forget about whatever's going on with us, you know? So yeah, we came to a point where we made an agreement. You know, I won't pick up my phone and he won't talk about Trump and CNN because I don't care. Like, I'm just counting down the years waiting for this dude to get out the office.
I know that's right.
You know, so it's like it was so negative, and I told him I can't deal with the negative energy of hearing about that.
Yeah,
The
but you
same
know what's
way
so crazy though? A lot of the stuff with social media dealing with the show, it's negative. And
Not
sometimes, honestly, sometimes I don't really care to hear that, you know, about that. But sometimes I'll say, all right, well, what are you laughing at? Because I'm trying to get some type of reaction so we can talk. And, you know, so at the end of the day, what I was looking at was probably negative, but what you're looking at can be very negative as well.
No, I look at stuff that makes me laugh.
No, I get it, but a lot of the comments and stuff that's on your social media is a bunch of, you know, garbage as far as comments of dogging people out and talking about people,
That's what trolls
their
do.
situation.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
That's what
so a lot of that can be negative as well.
Yeah.
Right, but yeah, I don't feed into that type of stuff when I'm on social media. So
You know what's crazy?
sure
If I was in a relationship and, you know, we both were addicted to social media heavy, I know I would have a problem. Especially if I was the one addicted to it. If I was the one that was into it real heavy, I don't think a woman could tell me what to do. I'm going to be on my social media. You're going to get that attention when you get it. I ain't setting no rules. It is what it is. So from how y'all handle y'all situation, it's very, very well and it's very good. I mean, y'all set
Thanks.
rules and y'all go by it. Me, you set me a rule, get the hell out. I'm not, it's impossible. Like, you're not giving me a rule. But
yeah.
yeah.
And just imagine when our kids get older. I mean, they're going to be on their cell phones, and
I'm
we
like
have to be a better
paranoid.
example.
Yeah, I will not let Sam go near a phone because I'm so scared he's going to become addicted, which is probably not the way to look at it because I feel like he will become addicted because I'm preventing it.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Most times it
But
does
I
go
think
the
that's how
opposite
you
way.
raise them too, though. Like for instance, as a young child, young family or whatever. When you go to the dinner table and he's a little older and he has his own cell phone, let's set a rule. We're all going to sit at this dinner table and we're going to talk to each other. Because how many times would you see people at restaurants and the family sitting there and nobody's interacting with each other? Everybody's on their phone. So why even go to dinner?
Right.
As a family, if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So you have to check stuff
That
like
family
that.
was probably born before the cell phones. I mean,
No,
because
I wouldn't say that.
you put us like we do in the kitchen. We don't. If we're all engaged in conversation in the house, that conversation, if it is extended to a restaurant, it's going to be the same conversation. It's going to be people talking. So if they're not talking at the restaurants, because probably at home they were whacking boring anyway. So I don't think the cell phone is the problem. They probably weren't engaging anyway.
Yeah. I think these days
Yeah,
it's
but our
kind of.
family's not boring. So
No, he's not
That's
talking about
what
our
I'm-
family.
yeah, I'm
He's
talking
saying
in
other
general.
families in general.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's what the problem is these days people are so they rely so heavily on social media, and that's the form of communication and interaction that they have with people is typing.
People will
that
text the person right next to them sitting down in the living room.
Right.
Okay, have you ever texted each other if you're downstairs and you're
Oh, yeah.
upstairs?
Oh,
Okay, 'cause
yeah.
I do that too. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah.
No, my
Instead of
brother-
So
yelling,
much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit special when it comes to like hearing as I'm typing. Like I can't hear anything. It's like I go deaf while I'm typing stuff. And my brother has been the only one to figure it out. But if I'm on my phone and he's trying to talk to me, like he's standing right there and I don't hear him, he'll send me a text message.
No way, really?
And I'll be like, "Oh, what'd you say, Kevin?" And he just dies laughing. But he figured it out, Or my son, if he's trying to get my attention and he's talking to me and I'm off in social media world and my mind is totally gone and I'm not hearing him, he'll just be like, "Mommy, Mommy," and he'll just put his hand in front of my phone. "Are you listening to me? Mommy, are you?" And he'll just grab my chin and turn it to his face and "Are you listening to me, Mommy?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes, baby. What's going on?" So he knows how to gather me and get me together. But Chris, he's working on that. I keep telling him, take my phone.
But
Like, just take it.
My point was I shouldn't have to do that.
It's not about what you shouldn't have to do, because the thing is, in relationships, when you want things to work, you have to understand who you're dealing with. And you have to make changes to make it work. Because there's certain things that I feel like
I have to make the change, but you don't.
I'm not saying that. Through your actions helping me when you know that I can't hear.
Call
when
her
I'm-
out. Let
Right.
her-
It's like
yeah.
it's helping me to see exactly what you're doing. It's almost like when I used to say back in the day, if I'm doing something that bothers you, if you don't check me right when it happens, how am I supposed to know what I'm doing is off? Because it's naturally who I am or what my tendency is. So unless you check me right then and there and say, this is exactly what I'm talking about, I'm not going to recall what you're saying
But
if you tell me 2 months later.
No.
know?
Actually, it has been times where I would say something right then, and you know what I get? Yeah. So my point is, if I'm actually calling it out and checking it, I shouldn't get a backlash of because that's going to get me frustrated.
Okay.
Instead of, "Oh, you're right, baby. Let me put the phone down. I get it."
But
No.
I'm telling you, I'm literally giving
but
you
I
the
shouldn't get-
secret.
No, but it's the
look,
reaction.
Chris,
It's the reaction.
I actually,
who wants to get that reaction every time you
Chris.
want attention? Hold
Right.
on.
Okay.
Pause.
No, yeah.
It's my turn, everybody. Alec, thank you for
Well, you've been
I
hosting
get
the
it.
show, so
I
go
get
ahead.
it.
No, but seriously, you're telling me to call me out right when it happens. So the times that I do, I get a negative reaction. Who wants to deal with that every single time? So it would be good and it would feel good if I'm just sitting there and I don't even have to call it out and get that reaction and you actually engage and you jump on board and you do it. So that would make me feel good.
You know how Christopher goes up to her, and when he wants her attention, he would just put his hand over the
He
phone.
puts his hand over my phone. He gets it, and he's
Chris,
5.
walk up to her one time, put Lance Armstrong right over her phone, and say, "Baby."
And hopefully
this is
she'll
the
say,
thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Anyway.
I totally. Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm
'cause
just
I
saying,
really,
man.
I really want to.
Switch
I
it
really
up.
want to say something because, clearly
Well,
he's not.
okay. So the
getting it.
other day,
"No, I get it."
Matt is always like, please, if you need help, let me know. So the other day I wanted him to read over something and he gave me this rolled his eye. He rolled his eyes at me. And then I didn't ask him for help the next time. He's like, well, why didn't you ask for help? I'm like, well, it's because of your reaction. You're not making me feel like I can ask for help about
Right.
something. So I understand, Chris, what you're saying. Mm-hmm. If he says to you, hey, can you put your phone down? Maybe give him not to play therapist, but if you give him a different reaction.
Right, but here's my thing. If I'm telling you and I'm giving you the keys to me, and I'm telling you exactly what will help get the positive response that you're looking for. You talking and doing all of that complaining doesn't work for me. What works for me is, babe, let me take this phone, let me sit it down, let's give me some attention.
And you won't.
You're on your phone too
and
much.
you'll stop doing the.
Yes, try me. Try me.
But what I'm
I
saying
tell
is,
him all the time.
So
if
is it going to be after the third time you'll stop doing that, or is it going to be after the 10th time you're going to
it's
stop
going to be
doing
after
it?
the first time. It's going to take a couple times of you snatching my phone, because this is what you're not understanding. If I'm not tuned into you at the time that you want me to be tuned into you, sometimes I can't help that, because I'm in mode of doing whatever I'm doing. The same way you can be in your modes of doing whatever you're doing. But if I'm sitting here telling you this is exactly what will help me to be more in tuned, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to make a change in who you are, it's going to take time. But if I'm telling you this is what's going to help me make that change, and I'm literally giving you
That's the push she needs.
Yeah, it's like just do that for me.
And that's
So it's not
perfectly fine, but you have to understand my point of view. It is frustrating when I actually take those steps and then I get
You have not taken that step.
I have done that before.
You have not one time taken the
Monique,
phone out of my hand.
Well,
not once.
Well, me saying, Monique, well, let's talk.
That's not the same.
That's
not the same.
That clearly
I'm
isn't
telling
the same.
you
It's not the
exactly
same.
what I
It's
need.
not.
So
Not the
basically, if I say, Monique, let's talk, and I get if I snatch that phone, I might get punched.
No, you
No,
won't.
do it
no, you
first. Say,
won't. Because
Monique, let's talk.
that is for me, because this is I'm Monique. I have this brain that's in my head, and this is how I think and how I function. If you are letting me know by taking the phone, that's a signal to me like, oh, I must be on the phone too long. And he's basically waiting for me to put the phone down, which isn't going to happen, and he wants my attention right now. But if you're just like, every time I talk to you, you're on social media, and then that irritates me, because
That's a trigger.
I know
It's a trigger.
I know
Yeah.
that I'm not on social media at that moment. I'm checking email, or I'm sending text messages,
Right.
or I'm scheduling something, or I might be in my Cozy app. I love Cozy. It's like a family planning app. Oh my God, it's amazing. But I might be on the app, and then as soon as I close out that app, naturally I'll hit Instagram and just see if I had any new comments, or if somebody tagged me in a picture. Like, because the thing is with my Instagram, I get so many comments and so many people adding me that it erases out. So I don't catch everything. So a lot of times I won't catch anything unless somebody like screenshots and sends it to me or something. So I always kind of like, if I have my phone in my hand, that's just natural. Let me just check it and see what's happening, and then I'll click off of it. Well, a lot of times, for whatever reason, when Chris notices it, or he just makes the assumption that, oh, you're on social media.
I look and
So-
I know what Instagram look like.
Right, but
And Twitter.
there are certain times
get
where
what you're
I might
saying.
hit
Yeah.
it at one time, and then the reaction is, you're always on your social media. And I know that I've been doing a lot more than just that. It irritates me. So my whole thing is,
Chris,
if I,
put it to the test, man.
yeah,
Why
I'm
don't you
like,
try
put
it
it
out
to
and
the
report
test.
back?
Right.
Let us know.
I would
Put it to
love,
the test.
I would
Please.
love, I would love
Put it
if
to
he
the
would just
test.
listen to me
I would-
and,
yeah.
and do what I'm asking, which is, if I'm doing too much, take the phone out my hand, sit it down, come on, babe, let's go.
All right. So in a relationship, it's all about balance, right? You give a little bit, you take a little bit.
Right.
All right. So basically, I'll put it to the test.
Mm-hmm.
I'll snatch the phone and put it down. And then sometimes when you're on that, how about you catch yourself and you put it down? and
Eventually, I'll
jump-
get to
Eventually,
that
it's
point.
just like
No, but
how you raise your
but I
kids.
get
You have to, like,
what y'all
it takes
saying
a
about
lot
this.
of,
Eventually, this will
reprogramming.
happen.
Yes.
That'll happen.
Instead of taking a
No, but
negative
listen.
approach, why don't we just try it?
No, y'all missed my point. Everything shouldn't be the work on my part.
But it's been work on my part for
No, no,
years
no.
to get you where you
Okay,
are right
but
now.
what-
But
as
it
far
is
as
going to
being
be work on
affectionate.
her part, because she's then, once you take the phone away, then she's going to be like, you know what, you're right. All
And
right,
if she's
let's
not
go on.
receptive
so
to
it
that,
is work.
then-
Yeah.
It is.
That's
It's
a
work on both sides. This is the thing that Chris isn't understanding in some time. And if you are, forgive me for assuming you're not. But when Chris and I first got together, there was a lot of me being the initiator all the time for years. Because Chris was not brought up in an affectionate household. He wasn't brought up with, naturally just saying, I love you, baby. Well, if you love me, why can't you tell me? There was so many times where I would have to be the one initiating and saying those things, or initiating hugs and kisses, or initiating whatever. And he would just kind of like, sit back, and he didn't think it was an issue. But I kept pushing, I kept trying, and I never gave up on it. So now we're at a point in our relationship, in our marriage, where sometimes I'm going to need you to be the one pushing, because since my schedule has picked up and I'm a lot busier now, and my mind is literally working in 1,000 different places, I do need him to be that person to just be like, look, check me. The same way years ago I had to check you, So it's not that you're doing all the work. It's just a moment in time. And it's basically going to help me because we are a team and we're one. It's going to help me get to the point where I need to be. So you can't look at it as you don't want to do all the work because there was a point where I had to. So I just
How
feel
did
like
that make you feel back then? But
I know how
now
it-
that I get it,
right. I know how
you know how you felt.
I did, but because
So I'm meeting you halfway. So meet me too. Like at the end of the day.
right. But there's certain times where I was going more than halfway.
No, I get
So-
it, but I get it now. I finally got it. You helped me get to that point to understand what you needed, which I couldn't understand. I wasn't brought up, like you said, I wasn't brought up like that. So now that I understand that and I'm constantly trying to give it, don't go into a mode of, you have to push me now, you have to push me. No, you know how you felt when I was lacking and I wasn't doing it. So I shouldn't have to do all of the pushing now. You should actually meet me halfway, and that way we both are giving something.
And you can also sit back and say, wow, I knew what my mindset was when I had 1,000 things going on. So I can understand where she is right now. And since you've been more experienced in both areas now, because I'm new to this area, you've actually had the experience of having both. So now you should be the one to be more reasonable and say, okay, I get where she is. I'm here now, but
I understand what
get
you're
where,
saying, but I disagree because now that we've gotten to this point of understanding both sides.
I haven't. I'm still going through it. That's what you're not understanding.
All right, well, just basically.
I'm not well versed in all of this like celebrity stuff like you were. Like this is all new for me. So I'm basically getting to a point where even last year, Chris.
But you could preach to me back then when I was playing.
I didn't understand it.
No,
so
I get it. But what I'm saying is you could easily preach to me of what I should be doing back then. Create balance. That's what you always told me. Balance. It needs to be balanced. You can easily preach it to me then when I was going through it when you couldn't understand it. But you understand the negative, how you felt when I was basically neglecting you in that sense. So now that you're going through it, I'm totally supportive of what you're doing. I'm proud of you where you're going. But my whole point is this. It shouldn't just totally flip now. It should be a situation of, I know how I felt at that particular time. Chris is actually reaching out to me, so I'm going to create balance. Everything that I preach to him, I need to create balance now because I know how I felt back then.
Right, and you don't think I'd do that?
No, but my point is you're telling me I should take the phone, I should do this, I should do that. And all I'm saying is create some balance. All right, Chris took the phone or he's mentioned to me, let's talk. Well, how about I'm going to put this aside and I'm not going to check. I'm going to check my emails. I'm going to check my Cozy app. But I'm not going to check social media. I'm going to actually go over there and cuddle up under him and hug up under him.
But she's saying she's going to do that once,
Like, we've already made changes, and we've already been doing a lot better, like lately. But the thing is, it's not that I'm just totally just excusing myself, and I'm just like, oh,
and
you
that's
got to
what
deal
I
with
feel
it.
like the way you're preaching it to me.
Right, but I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, I am at a place where I'm trying to figure out how to balance everything, how to juggle everything. Because at the end of the day, when you were in the position where it was your turn. You didn't have 2 young kids. We didn't have kids back then. We weren't even married. We were dating. So our whole dynamic has totally changed. So when you talk about balancing things, first and foremost, of course, I'm like, I want to be the best, wife, but I also am a mom to these kids as well. And I'm trying to juggle that on top of my schedule now being so evolving and changing. And then on top of the businesses that I'm starting, on top of the charitable work that I do and contribute to, and on top of making sure that our businesses and properties are maintained and taken care of. So I'm still I'm in a new place where I'm trying to figure out how to balance and juggle even more than what we had when we were back then, before we got married. So what I'm asking you is, just to be patient, because it's not like I'm just totally ignoring.
I've definitely been patient.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm ignoring what you're feeling or ignoring the points that you're making, because they are valid. And if you feel it, I have no choice but to respect that anyway. But what I'm saying is I'm really doing the best that I can. And if you see me slipping, even when I'm not even thinking about it, I'm just asking you to just give me that nudge. And the nudge is not saying you always on social media. The nudge is take the phone out my hand. That gets my attention faster than anything, because that's me. That's what works for me. So I'm just asking you to do that, not putting work on you solely. I'm just saying, like, I feel like we'll get a better response and we'll move further along in this if you can help me in that way. This way, it kind of checks me in that moment. The same way back in the day, we used to have issues with the way I talk. 'Cause, I'd be running that mouth.
Jersey.
Much better at that
So,
now. So, yeah.
there was a point in our relationship where Chris was just like, look, the way you talk to me, all that sarcasm, all of that, I can't take it. Like, this is when we were dating. He was just like, I cannot deal with that. And I did not think it was a big deal because I've been in relationships before and I've never had a complaint about how I talk. So I'm like, what? Boy, bye. So then after a few times of him bringing
I
it
was
up.
about to go by.
Did you notice it then?
Well, this is
was about to go
actually.
by.
Oh yeah, he was about to be out.
I was about to go
Yeah,
by.
he was getting so frustrated.
Why can't
'cause-
I ask you a simple question without getting a smart remark?
Right.
Yeah.
But this is what he did for me. He listened the same way, we're going through this situation. This is kind of similar. I told him, I was like, okay, I see that this is a real issue for you. I don't think it's a big deal because this is how I've always talked. So I can't see what you're seeing. So I told him, I said, if you hear me say something that's very sarcastic or sounds smart, or I just say it in a mean way, I say, like, we need a code word, or you need to like grab my arm, or just like say something to me to get my attention so that I can recognize what I said in that moment, rewind it in my mind, and then I can figure out exactly what I'm sounding like so I can fix it. So he started doing that. And I did not realize how off the chain my mouth was until probably a year later. I was working on it all this time. And it wasn't until me and Hank got together one day. And I remember I told you this. I was like, wow, now I see what you were talking about. Because all of my family, we all talk to each other like that. We make jokes. We're sarcastic. That's just our way. Chris wasn't used to that. He's a Southern country gentleman. And he was just like, dude, like, instead of you, like, if I ask you where my belt is, you ain't got to be all like, well,
Where
if it
you
was a
left it
snake, it would have
last.
bit you. It ain't my belt. Why you asking me? Do I wear the belt? It's just like, oh, baby, you know what? I don't know where it is. I could not hear the difference in that, literally. And
But
so
see,
he started showing
one
me.
thing, and I probably shouldn't open this door, but hell, we're on this show, we keep it real. But it was frustrating at times when she was like, well, if I'm talking that way, you got to voice it to me. But then it was frustrating when I would voice it. Well, that's just how I talk.
And the reaction.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that was bad
ties,
back
let's
then.
tie that and fast forward up to the social media thing. Baby, let's talk. So it's frustrating. You're telling me to call it out.
You're making it like a safe space for him to say something. I get it.
Right.
And then it's
Right.
like,
So,
okay,
so,
yeah.
so my
Backlash.
point is this:
Yeah.
it's a lot of times I want to say something, but I don't want the backlash of the attitude from saying it. You're opening the door of telling me that, and then when I do it, I get this backlash. So of course it might be 3 days or a week of me not saying anything. You know why? Because I don't want to hear that mess.
Right.
And it's only going to trigger me, and you know I'm crazy from playing football for all of many years. So then now it turns into a yelling match, and then I get to cussing and getting out of character, and then I leave for 30, 40 minutes, and then I come back home and we work it out later. So my point is, when I start taking these steps of taking that phone, and you might be talking to Nene Leakes or whoever, don't give me the backlash. You're telling me to do these things, so I need you to work on something too.
Right. Even back then, that was a process. It was
No,
a
I
process.
get it. So
we got to a point where I wasn't huffing and puffing anymore, and I listened to him. So it's a process. If you are trying to make a change in yourself, I'm not a robot. I'm not going to just turn it off and all of a sudden I'm perfect. And you wouldn't want anybody that's going to do that because that's fake. So with me, it's a process of trying to literally change something about me that's been ingrained in me.
Right.
So
I think that like if you just are just by like listening to you guys about this, just if you could be more mindful and then you could just give her the benefit of the doubt and know
Right.
that it's like she's working on it, she's trying, and if you could be more mindful of your
Oh, yeah.
reactions.
Can I ask
to
a
it.
question? 'Cause
Definitely.
I can
Go ahead, buddy.
foresee something. I'm already foreseeing it. What happens?
Dionne Warwick over here.
No,
but go
what?
ahead.
No, I can foresee something. What happens, Monique, when you're doing something important in that phone, and he comes over and he says, "Baby," and
Or
then
snatch the phone.
and then you're not paying attention. He snatches that phone, but you're doing something what you think is important. What happens in that instance? He snatches that phone.
then I'll tell him.
And I'm good with
and,
that.
And the
Okay.
thing is,
That's
what we've
excellent.
been
That's
actually
excellent.
what
That's
we've been
very
actually
good.
doing lately, because he has given me such a complex with thinking every time I have my phone in my hand, I'm on social media. I will literally, if we're in the car, I'll literally tell him, I got these emails I got to reply to. I need to call so and so, or I'm on my phone checking this. And now that doesn't seem fair but I do it so that he's reassured.
It's a step.
But I think that's
it's a
good.
step
I
in the
think
right
you should
direction.
do that. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll just let him know, like, I'm sending this, that, and the other, and then I'll be done. And he'll be like, okay, baby, you straight, So at least he has the comfort of knowing that I'm not just sitting here on my phone like I just don't want to talk to him. I'm
Honestly,
just handling something.
I do the same thing with Matt. Like,
Yeah.
he's driving, and I pick up my phone. I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm just doing this to, like, reply to an email.
Right.
I respect the fact that y'all can diagnose a problem and then try to come
Yeah,
up with a
that was
solution.
good.
Well, that's what it's all
excellent.
about. I mean, that's what marriage is. It really is. So, and I mean, we're being totally open with you all, today, because at the end of the day, no marriage is perfect. Chris and I have issues just like everybody else, and we try to figure out the best way to work it out. And if we can't figure it out together, then we'll call Pastor.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy? For all the bachelors out there that are like me, notice we don't have anything to talk about on this right here. We don't have these problems. You know what I mean? A random is not going to tell me to put my phone down. Take your random butt and go sit down somewhere.
Go be random.
Absolutely. Do some random things for some change. So, yeah. But I admire the fact that y'all are able to move forward with issues without compiling the issues.
Yeah,
I
this
love
has
it.
definitely
It's dope.
been
Real dope.
12-year journey of just maturing. That's what marriage does for you. It causes
Really?
you to mature.
I
It
know.
really does.
A compromise.
A random
And
got 12
talk
minutes
about
for
it.
me.
Yeah.
Compromise is
Yep.
the big thing.
Huge.
Definitely compromise. And then understanding and just, understanding that, you're a whole person, so I can't expect you to just do what I want you to do or think the way I want you to think. So it's like communicating and just trying to.
Acknowledging their feelings,
Right.
like all of it.
Right. Yeah. I love it. So, Hank,
What's up?
we all know now why you're immature.
Listen, I mean,
You ain't married.
listen, man.
That don't make him immature.
No, I'm just messing with him.
No, but you know what? I know I'm
He know what he
immature.
wants,
I'm
and he
immature
know
in
what he
certain
don't want.
instances. I'm selfish in certain instances. But like I said, it's going to take a special one for me to want to compromise, how I feel. So, it just is what it is, man. Like I said, I can just, if I even thought about a relationship, I'll just look at y'all and then
Change your mind.
say hell no. So if I contemplate it, best believe, it is what it is. Takes a special one.
You're so funny. But yeah, so I think that was really good. That was definitely a
No
breakthrough
bottles were
for me,
thrown.
Chris.
This is great.
This
I
whole
know.
episode was for us.
Honestly, this was our plan.
We
We wanted
knew
to
it.
have an intervention.
Right,
You know what I mean? Seriously, Ali, we weren't needed.
Yeah,
I told
no.
you. We weren't needed.
Great.
Yeah, but no.
You
So
could just take me in a room and put me to sleep, and you can get on social media the rest of the night. Good. I mean, it's true.
Oh, dirty.
oh my God. Yeah, I've done that before. It does work.
Oh, my God.
That's your tip of the day.
It's really not
Knock 'em out.
difficult
Let
for
me
me.
get back to Instagram.
But I will say this: it's not just about the intimate side of it, as far as the physical deal. I mean, I want to talk to my wife. I want to see what's going on, and especially if I hadn't talked to her all day, and
Big, soft, emotional teddy bear,
you
man.
can call me what you want. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I want from my wife, and
It
I
took
want
him years to get to this point. Y'all
No,
don't understand.
and that's my whole point. Like, even though we kind of resolved everything, but that's my
There you
whole
go.
point. No. You telling me, how I need to create balance and I need to change. I need to focus on you. And now I'm here. I'm doing it. I get it. And I'm giving it to you. And now I'm not getting it back. And it's like frustrating. Like, I love every bit of this. So I need it back now. Don't just tell me that.
Really?
And
Seriously?
no,
Can
seriously.
you get this man a hug? He needs a hug
And I
right
love
now,
I
man.
love the physical part of our relationship. Ain't no doubt. I want it all the time, as many times I'll work.
'Cause it's
You know
so
what
good.
I'm saying? So as many times as it'll work or whatever. So I want that. But at the end of the day, it's more than just that. Like I want to talk. I want to see how your day went. I want to tell you about my day. And Hank, I know this is boring to you.
No, but how can this not make you want to be in a relationship? Because this is like
When you get the
so-
right
don't
one,
wanna work.
No,
Hold on,
seriously.
time out.
When you get the right one,
let me ask
he'll
you-
get it.
no,
Right
time
now,
out.
And it's
obviously,
like
he
you-
hadn't
you-
met
Let
the
me-
right one.
let
Right,
me
but
answer
you have
your
such a-
question.
like a
Let me-
functional
Let me answer your
relationship,
question.
so-
Let me answer your question. I mean, I got an answer to that. The reason why I can look at this, not trying to say what y'all have isn't very beautiful. I'm going to use another couple.
It's challenging.
At the end of the day, for me, and this is my opinion, even though it looks good, don't mean it is good for me. I know that, this is great for y'all, but I know the opposite, the other side. And that right there alone is enough for me to be like, even if it is beautiful and cool, the opposite, the other side of that, I'm not with. The arguing, the questioning, Not trying to say y'all have to go through that, but I know with me,
Oh, we definitely
the way
went
my
through it.
life
We
is set
still go
up,
through it.
the way my life is set up, I'm going to just do what I want to do. I mean, there's not a relationship that's going to stop me from
Well,
doing
there
that.
might be a woman out there who doesn't care, and y'all just
That-
don't care together.
She's not going to. I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, to answer your question, it's the other side.
Okay.
I know this is all good. I know it's great. Oh my God, the love, the affection, the kisses, the mushy gushy, sloppy toppy, the all that stuff. But there's a flip side to that. What my man says, a flip side to that coin, and that flip side will drive me insane, and I just won't do it.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Well,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
Word.
Well, I want to say, I guess, as a tip, just try to establish some type of office hours. Maybe put your phones down when you're having dinner, or figure out what time of day it's best to handle your business, especially for the stay-at-home moms who, or even the stay-at-home dads, those who work from home, just trying to figure out time periods where you're actually doing work and when you're doing family. So I know for me and Chris, our kids go to school. So they come home at 3:00. So from 3 until 8 is typically cutoff hours for us. And we're home with the kids. We're enjoying each other. Saturdays and Sundays, that's family days, those family days. And that's when we're with the kids and we try to just, focus on each other. Unless we have like an event or something like that pops up. But for the most part, the evenings, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends, it's family time. So we try to get everything else accomplished during the day. So yeah. So any moment of silence. A moment of silence for social media.
And all the problems it causes.
Yes. It can be a great thing and it can be a terrible thing as well. It's all
crazy
about how you
because
use it.
what's crazy? You can meet a girl on social media, but once y'all get into a relationship, it's almost as if social media never existed. Like, wait a minute, girl, I met you on Instagram. Why would I stop liking other pictures? Why would I stop sending people DMs? I mean, it's just crazy for me. It's insane.
Well, when you get into a
It's insane.
relationship and you serious about the other person, you shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at all y'all married folks talking.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I thought that was great. That was a great episode for me and Chris.
I mean, yeah, you guys are good, right? I can't wait for you to try that take the phone away trick.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Ali, I'm going to record it.
Yeah, please do. Because you know it's going to happen in
It's
like an
going to
hour.
happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to record it.
I'm sure Chris will report back. She chopped my head off. All right, y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you next week. I finally didn't say see you.